What's going on, fellow gamers and rumor enthusiasts? About 8 months ago, VGC reported that the rumored Nintendo Switch 2 was being demoed behind closed doors at Gamescom's, showcasing Epic's Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, along with an improved version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And let me tell you, since then, the rumor mill has been churning faster than my Italian grandmother's pasta maker. But hold on to your SpaghettiOs, because this week has been extra festive. I'm talking more noise than an Italian family sitting down around the dinner table having 15 conversations at once. It's true. We do that. So let's dive into the latest Switch 2 rumors and see if we can separate fact from fiction. According to an article from WCCF Tech, this past April 26, the highly anticipated Nintendo Switch 2 might just grace our eager hands in the second half of 2024. This is thanks to a Samsung leaker that goes by OrXDuh, an individual I have never heard of before, but this website seems to care about, and a suggestion that yes, the Switch 2 may still be on the docket for this year. OrXDuh claims that not only could we see a Nintendo launch in 2024, the second half specifically, but he's also reconfirming a rumor we've already heard before from reputable sites like Digital Foundry, that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be coming equipped with an NVIDIA Tegra 239 system on a chip. Now, while the T239 may sound like the latest model from Skynet, based on Digital Foundry's speculation, it's promising quite a lot of power underneath that tiny hood. We're talking about Ampere GPU architecture, 1280 CUDA cores, and 8 Cortex 878 ARM CPU cores, along with 12 gigabytes of RAM. And what does all of this mean? Honestly, I'm not the one to ask, but from a high-level perspective, we're probably talking about a chip that's more in line, raw power standards-wise, on par with a PS4 or Xbox One. Yet thanks to the fact that this chip will be supporting NVIDIA DLSS capabilities, we could very well see hardware that punches way above its weight class. Not only that, but it's important to keep in mind games will be optimized and developed specifically for it. So while a Steam Deck may have more juice and capabilities, the Switch 2 will benefit from games being directly tailored for it, potentially leading to a near identical experience thanks to NVIDIA's machine learning acceleration. The last bit of speculation from this specific article is that the expected price point will be somewhere between $399 and $499, which is critical, but I want to revisit this point at the end. For now, let's talk about another juicy leak that came out the day after, also featured on WCCF Tech. This one comes from Chinese manufacturer Mobapad, again, someone I have never heard of, and they're claiming overall some interesting and exciting features, the most important being backwards capability for both physical and digital Switch games. Now, again, if we think back to those VGC Gamescom rumors, it makes perfect sense. Why else would they demo Breath of the Wild? And as I've thought for a while, if we truly are getting DLSS technology, again, it makes perfect sense that the Breath of the Wild demo was supposedly a far superior version from technical standards. Does this mean we'll see some auto-enhanced capabilities? Possibly. But even if it's not seamless like the Series X architecture does for older Xbox games, it still means developers are going to potentially modify next-gen patches they release for the PS5 and Series X versions of their games and bring them over to the Switch 2 as well, which really makes me happy because I am a fool who has way too many Switch games. Now, I've thought backwards capability was a gimme for a while. As of September 2023, the Switch sold 1.13 billion software units, making it the most software ever sold on any Nintendo console. And while Nintendo has struggled in the past when it comes to creating a universal account and ID system to link players to all their hardware and their past eShop purchases, we've known a while that the current account system is going to continue on. So gamers, rejoice, because your digital and physical library looks like it's not quite dead yet, but probably in another 7 to 8 years. The Mobapad leak doesn't stop there though, so buckle up and hold onto your Joy-Cons, literally, as not only will games be backwards compatible, but Joy-Cons and Pro controllers are invited to the next-gen party as well. And while legacy Joy-Cons will be compatible, it's a bit murky if they'll actually be connecting to the hardware itself, as the new Joy-Cons for the hardware will also be featuring an updated magnetic docking structure to ensure a more secured experience. We're also potentially getting metallic and magnetically activated SR/SR buttons, which honestly also has me hoping they implement magnetic joysticks as well, considering stick drift was such an issue with the original Joy-Con. and products like Hall effect sticks were created to essentially mitigate such issues. The article also calls out the USB-C docking tech getting a facelift as well. There really isn't much detail here besides it including a metal damping bracket, basically an adjustable hinge for improved angle adjustment, which means we may have some more options on how we place and set up our Switch 2 docks. Perhaps the most exciting last bit of detail is regarding a rumored, slightly larger, full 1080p screen, which really makes me happy. Now, overall, this MobaPad leak claims the Switch 2 is somewhat of a conservative evolution of the previous hardware release, which, in some sense, I can understand and agree with. The Nintendo Switch represents the most successful piece of gaming hardware we've seen since the Nintendo DS or PlayStation 2, and there's good reason for that. The gaming market when it comes to consoles is maturing, especially in the West. And Nintendo hit gold whenever they consolidated their handheld and home console markets using what is essentially advanced cell phone chips to create a new device. Again, demonstrating that Gunpei Yokoi philosophy of lateral thinking with weather technology, taking something that's already been proven and is now much more affordable, like smartphone chips, and reusing them in an innovative way. Which brings me to my final point. Are these rumors true? Well, I could very well see all of them being true, except the 2024 release, and while I personally want to experience my stupidly huge Switch library on a new and advanced piece of hardware, it just doesn't seem like Nintendo is planning on a hardware release anytime soon. The only caveat I'd give to that point is that the current slate of Nintendo games is rather empty after June's release of the HD remake of Luigi's Mansion 2, which is a pretty big gap. So if we're going to hear about a Super Nintendo Switch or whatever they're going to call it, it could very well be sometime during the summer, around what used to be the E3 window. So we should go on to continue to expect that most of these rumors are indeed true though. So again, we could easily see 4K resolution, 1080p resolution on dock, 30 frames per second most likely if we're being honest, since even the PS5 and Series X struggle with 60 on most modern gen games. The fact that we'll be able to have an extensive library upgraded in a sense really gets me excited. And lastly, in regards to the price, if the options really are between $399 and $499, I'm wagering Nintendo is going to go with the former. Affordability is big to them. They want to grow the gamer base in a way that won't make parents feel like they're breaking the bank, and times are tough right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to get the price a bit lower. But these are just my thoughts. What are yours? What features do you want to see in Nintendo's next piece of hardware? When do you think it will release? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and as always, happy gaming.